Welcome into the Third and Podcast, your one pot stop for Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, Kansas City referee, and Taylor Free, AFC West banter. I'm Alex Bell. I'm fan of the Denver Broncos. I've witnessed my team win 3 Super Bowls. To my left, I have Omar Rubio. He's a fan of the Chargers. He's never seen his team win a Super Bowl. And to my right, I have Edgar Larios. He is a fan of the Raiders. And of course, he's never seen his team win a Super Bowl because he's not 45 or 50 years old. And the draft is over. We're going to shift a little bit to now we're looking at the season. What are the teams lacking? What are the biggest holes? How do they compare to other teams' biggest holes on the roster? And how are they going to derail the season?
Yeah.
Well,
hopefully not for my sake. Gosh. there's plenty to say about both of your guys' teams.
I don't know about plenty. When you make it to the AFC Championship game and host, you obviously got a pretty damn good roster, not a whole lot of holes there. So we'll discuss, compare, debate a little bit about which ones are going to be the most pertinent to the season. And then we'll get into some underrated position groups, talk about how they step up, and debate how they can make a bigger impact on the season. And, of course, we're leaving out the Chiefs. Did you guys see Pat McAfee today?
No, did not.
Yeah, so he was talking about how no one's talking about the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's that ESPN influence there.
Yeah, I guess so. It's like, I think everyone's talking about the Chiefs, like always, except for us.
Yes.
So if you found us and you are a Chiefs fan, we're not going to be talking about you here. But if you're a Raiders or Chargers or Broncos fan, then get a little bit of relief from hearing about them, like you always do when you turn on FS1 or ESPN. So let's get into it. Biggest weaknesses on the team. Anyone want to start? Talk a little bit about how you feel is the biggest weakness on your squad, how they stack up.
I guess I'll go first since the Raiders pretty much have the biggest questions and biggest,
They've got quite a few. So if you had to narrow it down to one.
Yeah, you can't just say the entire team, Edgar. You narrow it down to one position group.
I wish I could narrow it down to one position group, but unfortunately... No, I'm just kidding. Now, honestly, like the one concerning thing for me is definitely special teams. There's definitely, like I said, there's definitely other positions in offense and defense, but special teams is definitely a concern to me. We let go of Daniel Carson, which was Cash Money Carlson. He was just gonna get too expensive, which we still had the money for. I don't know.
You give him that nickname, you got to kind of
live up to it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what plan they have, but I know at this point they want to go younger. But we definitely have a older veteran as a kicker. He's Matt Gay.
You guys got Gay.
Yeah, he's not horrible, but I mean, his time has come to like an end. Like we should I don't know.
Not good.
I mean, he's still. I think I forgot his percentage for field goals and everything. So I mean, he's not bad, but I mean, we definitely need to upgrade there. But the one thing that we definitely need to upgrade, and we've been needing it for 15, 20 years now, is a kick returner, punt returner. We haven't had a punt return since 2009, 2010. So I feel like special teams could definitely help us out, not just by returning kicks, but obviously like the, starting position or, where the ball's going to start for our offense. And not just that, even last year, our tackling was horrible. Like our special teams was horrible. So that's definitely a concern. We didn't sign a kicker. We did pick up an undrafted kicker, but yeah, there's so many questions there.
When it comes to special teams for the Raiders, obviously, the way you're talking about it, it's a weakness. But I think I'm just thinking about like the kicker side of things. Like a good kicker is really important when you're playing in close games. I don't know if the Raiders are quite there yet. If they're losing by 2 scores and there's 4 minutes left and Matt Gay misses a 54-yarder, I don't know if that's going to be the biggest problem with the Raiders.
I mean, at this point, we need every point we can, so you never know.
Yeah, but again, if you cut that lead from 17 to 14, I don't know. Is it really that big of a difference?
Depending on the time. No, I mean, honestly, I feel like it does make a difference just because, like, I mean, yeah, we can make longer kicks, but also it's field position, and we were able to keep our punter, but it's still like blocking for him is, the tackling we've had. Like, I think last year was our worst tackling. I mean, surprisingly, it was our worst tackling season ever.
Why is that surprisingly? You guys
Let's
drafted
say
number one.
Because we had so
I'd be
many
up for
seasons
debate
that were
still.
really bad.
Oh, I see.
So the fact
That's
that
true.
this one was the worst one was
That's
like,
true.
wow, it got worse.
Still a debate.
I know you ain't talking. Y'all have the number one offense and defense, but still couldn't make it to the Super Bowl with why? Because your special teams was what?
Yeah, ranked number last.
Number last.
Number
That's
last.
32
That's how
in the
exactly.
NFL.
No, I don't even have to
In the
say,
NFL.
but number last.
Exactly.
That's
So
it.
you
That's all it
guys
was.
should know how important special
Yeah.
teams is. I mean, it's not like we have the number one offense or
But you
defense.
guys were talking shit earlier in the season when I said like the Chargers re-signed all these players and brought in some good special teams. You guys like, well, that's the biggest thing that the Chargers did. I'm like, yeah,
I don't think
you
that's
know,
the biggest thing, but
but I'm just saying that I put a lot of emphasis in that. And who was the happiest person was their special teams coordinator, and you guys all put me down for that.
Special teams is boring. Let's move on.
We love. Don't get me fired up about my special teams again.
The Chargers, we talked about their weaknesses a little bit already this offseason, and we talked about it a lot last year, quite a bit. And I think we landed on interior offensive line, correct?
Yeah, that's just an ongoing problem for the Chargers. Last year, the guys that were there weren't playing very good,
Very well.
very goodly. Yes, they weren't playing very well. There you go, Alex. So yeah, they had to go do something this offseason. Yeah, I feel like they improved into the center. Definitely couldn't get much worse than
Number last.
Yeah. Can't even go 32 because there was more.
Right.
He was number last there. So got Biadasz, but the other two interior offensive line, the guard spots are still kind of a question for me. Yeah, they brought in a guy that was kind of handpicked by McDaniel to be their right guard. Their left guard is still just, out in the open for the taking. They brought in their second round draft pick, who's transitioning, like I said last week, from center to guard. There's Penning, there's Coyote Awashika, there's a couple guys that they drafted late in the draft, like 6 rounders. I think they're just attacking it by like numbers. Let's see who can win this spot. Competition's always gonna, get the best out of people, but still, I feel like they should have gotten out there and gotten a proven player, even if it was somebody a little older, but at least, get you solid play. Maybe not the best, but at least where you stand with him, where you're going to get. You could get something better with the guys that they brought in, but you could not. It could go either way. You don't know, especially different schemes. You would think that they would bring in guys that they were running the same, like at least blocking concepts, but never know if it translates from the college to the pros.
Yeah, fair enough. Obviously, the interior line is going to be a big part of what the Chargers do this year. Their tackles coming back, hopefully, could play the entire season. That makes them a pretty scary offensive line just with Slater and all. And then, of course, Biadasz getting upgraded there at center. Big upgrade.
Huge upgrade from where they went from.
Honestly, I was really surprised.
Last.
I was really surprised that wasn't your guys' emphasis like this offseason. Like we obviously
Charger fans were pretty upset about
I know
that.
Humphrey was too expensive in the end, but like I felt like you guys could have still attacked some more guards, more interior. But,
yes,
I mean definitely they got a plan, try not to spend too much money, so they're trying to hit on these like rookies, young players. So
I think that is the thing, that they don't want to put too much money into a certain position group where they feel like they can get by. Seems like both the general manager Joe Ortiz and McDaniel kind of both have the same type of concept, where that if the 2 tackles are there, that's going to be is what drives the team. They can get by with subpar or average or just below average guard play. As long as they do their job specifically with what they're asked to do, then they can get by, and that's what McDonald's been doing. So I don't see why it would change. And then Ortiz comes from the Baltimore tree of GMs there, so it's worked for them for the most part. You would think and pray and hope that that they might be right. But last year, the year before, it wasn't any good, so can't get much worse, especially at the center position. I think that's going to be the biggest improvement, but will it be enough?
Yeah, fair enough. Do love how bad Mekhi Becton was and how big of a disaster that was for the Chargers last year when everyone was excited about him going there.
do remember the offseason. I was pretty pissed off that the Raiders didn't get a chance to get him, but it was kind of funny seeing that with the Chargers. to
Yeah,
be
it all
honest.
worked out in the end. Yeah, I mean, looking at the Broncos roster, like I said, and it's a nice part being a Bronco fan at this point. Is the roster's pretty strong. There's not a lot of weaknesses on the Broncos roster. So if you really have to point to one, and it's one they haven't really addressed here in the offseason quite yet, and that's the interior linebacker depth. You got two starters there that have a lot of faith in Singleton and Stranad. Stranad's proven himself to be a good starter at this point. When he came in for Greenlaw last year, after Edgar wished injury upon him, he played pretty well.
It was for people who don't know, it was my fault. The reason why Greenlaw couldn't have a good season with the Broncos.
Yeah, we'll always blame me for that.
I have total control of the Broncos right now. That's why.
So, feel pretty good about the starters, but it is the NFL. It's football. It's a violent game. Can't count on both of them playing all 16 games. So
Especially that position.
Yeah, a lot of contact on that interior interior linebacker. So the guys behind them still have some question marks. They've been in and off the practice squad, call ups, been on the practice squad, inactive, active, and Kareem Reed and Lavelle Bailey out of Fresno. So shout out to him.
Fresno.
Yeah. And then, of course, Mr. Irrelevant with the dopest name ever, Red Murdoch. But don't know if you really want to count on Mr. Irrelevant to be your main depth piece in his rookie season. So
I don't know. Maybe he just runs at them backwards so they see his last name. Murdoch.
Yeah.
Get scared because it's a cool name.
It is a pretty cool name. So yeah, that's a pretty big worry for me as a Bronco fan. And if I really have to examine the roster and look at something that worries me quite a bit, that would be it.
Yeah, especially looking around the division where you got Brock Bowers, you got some younger receiving option in the Chargers with Gadsden. Who knows with Njoku? Never know with him coming in for a visit, but also that Taylor Swift lover, whatever his name is, over on the other team that
Travis
we don't like
Kelce.
to mention. So that's going to be an important position there for the Broncos. I feel like that can be the one that really derails them if they can't, shore up that depth, like you said, because it's those two players are decent players. They can get it done for the team and be there and do what they need them to do. But if one of them goes down, like you said, it's a violent game. It's the depth is what's going to have to pull you guys out of the mud there.
Yeah, I mean, Bronco fans know pretty well about interior linebackers not being able to play for an important game, having a couple of guys out. A couple of years ago against the Browns on a Thursday night game. I don't think it was Singleton, but maybe Drew Sanders. Not Drew Sanders, excuse me. Josie Jewell. He was out, and Stranad had to go in when he was a rookie, and it was ugly. Lost to the Browns on a Thursday night game on my birthday of all days.
Nice.
So I definitely remember that one, going to Applebee's and watching the Broncos get the shit kicked out of them by the Browns.
And you went to Applebee's for your birthday?
Dude, it was it was pretty well, that's what happens when you live in Lompoc, man. There's not a whole lot of options out there to go watch the game. But yeah, man, interior linebacker. So let's compare those weaknesses. The Broncos linebacker depth, the Chargers interior offensive line, and the Raiders special teams, and pretty much their entire roster when you think about it. And which one's going to be the biggest catalyst of how the season is going to go? Which one has the biggest risk of really derailing the season?
I mean, if you really think about it, all those players that are going to be on the special teams for the Raiders are going to play other positions,
That's true.
Sprinkled in throughout the rest of the team. So that if they suck just all together, then the whole team is just going to go down. That just affects the whole team, Edgar.
No. I think, honestly, if we're going to compare all three, I would say that obviously special teams, like, it is important, but compared to your guys' positions, I mean, it would be the last one. But I mean, if you guys really want to be like, oh, but Raiders have all these other positions that you can't really say, I'm like, those are just questions. Like, we don't even know. Like, I mean, if I say Raiders linebackers, I mean we got Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean. Yeah, like those are two of the like they played like they've been like two of the best linebackers in the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, no one said the
No,
linebackers.
and no, I'm just saying like, and if I go with like
we can
Pointing
talk
out
about
the
wide
pointing out the
receivers.
like the one strong,
Yeah.
the one strong.
not even
You guys,
You guys want to talk about tight end? We got Brock Bowers.
I never brought a tight end. This was brought it up. But even if I go to receivers, I'm like, we have receivers. We just don't know we don't know about them because last year they didn't really get the chance to really do anything. Like we had an offensive coordinator that didn't even know how to call his own plays. We had an offensive lineman that didn't even know how to like call his own blocks. We had an offensive line that they had to literally wait until like after practice to make their own calls. Like this whole offense was completely disaster last year. So
even if you want to be generous to say, okay, now we got a question mark at wide receiver, that's still a weakness.
Yeah,
you don't have a guy that you could count on and say like.
But it's not even just.
That guy's
you can go with guys, but I mean, like it's also like look at Clint Kubiak's like scheme. Like he just puts players in best positions. Like look at back at all his offenses. Like a lot of the players that he actually had them playing at their best, and so for me it's like, yeah, I can bring up all these like.
Yeah, you could say that, bro. The Raiders do not have a JSN on their roster.
Yeah.
No, I mean I'm not saying we do. But I'm saying like we definitely have a player that can like do something, not play exactly like him, but copy some of the plays that No, we do.
No, you don't have someone on the roster that could compete.
They would have already showed at least some spark and shown that they could do at least in spurts.
No, they have
those things.
In the last 3 years, Trey Tucker has been going up in like yards and touchdowns. But
Again,
the only reason,
it's still not.
But the only reason,
there's a reason why JSN's getting paid the money.
You're comparing the Seahawks offense to our offense.
Well, you're taking the offensive coordinator from that team. Yeah, you're trying to say that's going to be the reason why they're going to have a good.
I'm not saying I said question. I've never said they're going to be good. I'm like at this point, I don't know what they're going to be. But to say that they suck when they don't even know what they're going to be like.
But you can't prove that.
But you can't prove it. They're going to suck.
Yeah, but you can't. It's no because nobody can prove anything right now. That's
exactly. That's what
you can't. You can't argue that they're going to be that much better. Because
I'm not saying they're going to be better. I'm just saying that I don't know if they're going to be good or not.
Yeah, but we're going off of past experience, what they've done before. We can't
go.
We're
going for weaknesses for the team that's coming up this upseason. So for me, as much as I want to say, I can literally say the whole team's going to be a weakness. Yeah. But that's because there's so many questions. But if I honestly look at it, I look at the team, like those are all questions. But the only one that actually concerns me is special teams because I don't know.
That's the only thing that concerns you about the Raiders?
Yeah.
Dang, dude.
Because there's nobody there that can actually change anything. Like quarterbacks, we obviously got our quarterbacks. Yes, receiver, but the thing is that we still have a lot of young receivers that we don't even know what we have out of them.
Exactly. It could be nothing.
It could be something.
But at this point,
no, it's like you said, it could be something. It cannot be something. But we don't know, bro.
Yeah, Jack Beck could be JSN.
That's I'm not saying JSN.
He
but
such good numbers last year.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You're talking about like, this is what they did before, and they could do so much more.
I'm not,
but this is what they've done. So you have to take.
Okay, wait, hold on. What I'm saying is that I didn't want to pick a week. Yeah, I can have picked the entire team, but we don't know. Like they can be good next year. We don't know. I could have been like I could have picked the running backs. They could have sucked last year, but. Ashton Jetty can get hurt. We don't have any running backs. We don't know, bro. Like honestly,
I got to chime in here real quick, and it's we got a chat here from probably the funniest screen name that we've seen on here. Jimmy Jam is slamming.
Nice.
Said he's a Bronco fan as much as he wants to crap on the Raiders. This is the most potential they've had for a long time, and I agree. Being the Bronco fan on the pod, yeah, I mean they have pieces on the offense with Bowers and Genty and an upgraded offensive line. And then, of course, the potential of Mendoza. We don't know what he's going to be yet. But when it comes to wide receiver room, yeah, it's a huge question mark because you gave Jalen Naylor whatever amount of you guys gave him to be maybe wide receiver one on a team that didn't have a wide receiver one and hoping that he could be JSN. Apparently, this is a stretch to me.
No, I mean, I don't think they paid him here to be number one. I think they just paid him just to come.
But they
Like,
give him number one money.
That's we
The
paid,
money
dude. We
speaks.
paid everybody
Not quite
more
but
than
they,
we
they
had
gave
to.
him a lot. They gave him
We paid.
good money.
Look at all the free agents. We paid them way more than we had to. All of them.
Yeah, overpaying.
Yeah, because we had the. That's the only way for them to come with it at this point. You know that it's the facts, bro. That's the way it is. Even when Raiders were in Oakland, they were overpaying their players because nobody wanted to go to Oakland.
And how well did that work the last 20 years?
I mean, it's not working it didn't work back then, but now it's honestly as much as you want to say, like they brought in players that fit their scheme. They have a direction they're going, and they're honestly becoming a pretty young team. So we'll see how that goes. But I still think that as much as yes, receivers could have been like the biggest weakness. I wouldn't say cornerback because that's still questionable, but you mean cornerback would have been? Yeah, I'll say cornerback at this point because all our corners are at least 2 years experience, maybe 3 experience. I mean, Eric Stokes has like 4 or 5 years of experience.
He had a pretty good year last year.
Yeah, so like, but it's still pretty young. Everybody else is young. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's all just questionable, but like,
yeah, they're all question marks because you guys are changing stuff, but we're not talking about like question marks. Like what I'm saying is question marks is that you guys as teams, like the players that you have, you know what they've done, so you can't automatically assume that they're going to get that much better with just coaching. You got to assume that they're going to at least stay at par.
So you're going to tell me that
so you're going to tell me maybe improve a little bit.
So you're going to tell me that Omari Hampton is just going to be the same way he was last year. He's not going to get
better
because McDaniels is going to get.
I hope he does. I hope he does as good as he did last year before he got hurt. He was going off right before he got hurt.
I'm sorry, I got to chime in with the chat again because it's the first time that
Slamma Jamma again.
No. It's ZMB6, and it's the first time that someone came after one of us, and it wasn't me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the Charger fan sounds like he's never watched football ever, and I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah, Omar just likes to talk shit. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I just don't know how to say it all the right way. No, I get what you're saying, and I do see the potential, but you got to take it for what they have and what they've been.
And I have, but the thing is you act like Clint Kubiak can't change any of that. And I'm not saying I am not saying that Trey Tucker, Jason Naylor, nobody's gonna be JXN. Nobody can. That motherfucker's him. But I do see somebody stepping up. I'm not saying being an all pro, but stepping up, being that not I don't even think being that number one. I wouldn't be surprised if next year when we draft, we go for a receiver. But I still think that we have good receivers. I just feel like Clinton's going to be able to, fix the offense for everybody to be able.
Yeah, but I can tell you as a Bronco fan, having a wide receiver room full of good guys and not having a great top tier guy could really slow the offense down.
Trust me, I agree with that. So that's
you
why
guys do have Bowers though. So
that's what I was going to say too.
Yes, that's another thing that I was going to say. I'm like, as much as we do need a receiver, we're lucky that we have Bowers that can play outside or inside, but also we have Michael Mayer, which I'm hoping this year he does break out.
Yeah,
that's
further gone than your Joker. That's further gone than that.
No, because I'll be telling you this much: this guy actually can block. The only problem is that obviously he missed like half of a season because of like mental healthness. Whatever.
He was all there last year. No, it was the year before that he was out. Last year, I think he was there all season.
Yeah, but also that's 3 or 4 different offensive coordinators too.
Yeah.
So like you can't blame him on that stuff either. So that's another thing. That's another thing. The last 4 years, in the last 4 years, we've also had 4 different offensive coordinators. So imagine you're a receiver coming in your first year, then the next thing you have 3 different offensive coordinators that you're learning from.
Yeah, no, it's
very valid.
Jimmy Jam Slam chimed in again and said, "Take it easy on the Chargers fan. They're new to this whole NFL fan thing."
Damn,
and yeah, agreed.
Chargers today.
Yeah, let's kind of get back on track here. We're focusing a lot on the Raiders and all of their shortcomings, but
it's just so easy.
Yeah,
it's just so easy.
Keep it up, bro.
I've been looking at the end of the day. I don't think it's crazy to say that all the weaknesses the Raiders have is still going to put them last in the division, even if they are going to be a better team this year.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Fair enough. I mean, obviously, not Chiefs. Broncos and Chargers are solid, strong teams. Chiefs, middle. I mean, they still have some pieces. Raiders have a long to go, so we'll see how this by the end of the season how it ends.
Yeah.
Hopefully not fucking worse than last year.
It can't be worse than last year, bro. ZMB6 chimed in again and said, win the Super Bowl Chargers before you talk Sparky, and I agree. Charger fans don't have really much to talk about, especially since they can't win a playoff game too.
AFL championship, bro.
They gotta respect that.
Put some respect on it.
So focusing more on the Broncos and the Chargers, talking about their two different weaknesses. I mean, look, we saw what happens with the interior offensive line with the Chargers last year, right? When they're struggling. And of course, you didn't have Alt and Slater for most of the year. That offensive line was atrocious. Props to Justin Herbert for being able to play well during the regular season, but we all know what happens when it turns January.
When that spotlight gets brighter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But did the Chargers even sign backups good?
Yeah,
tackles?
Tackles. They brought back Trey Pipkins to be their swing. He's their backup right tackle, because if anything happens, Slater, Joe Alt moves over to the left.
Right.
So Joe Alt's basically like the swing kind of tackle. And then they picked up a tackle, huge guy, like 6'9", I want to say he is. Travis Burke, I think, out of Memphis. He was their left tackle, and I feel like they brought him in to be their backup swing tackle of the future. Anything happens, he's another big body that has only specifically played left tackle, but teach him the right side. So there in the future, that can be something that they take advantage of, with maybe with all the injuries that at this point Slater's had, and his knee, his shoulder, his bicep, everything. They might want to at one point, cut ties with that money and move Joe Alt to the left. And I see that happening in the future, but talking about this year specifically, the Chargers, their offense is going to be different. So they're going to be more of a open, or not a, what is it, gap scheme or a zone blocking. They went from a gap scheme to a zone blocking. So that means getting people out in the open, getting pinpointing the secondary and being able to attack that, not the secondary, but the second line of defense, middle linebackers. So I think that's going to help them. Hopefully, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, because
a lot of hopes again.
Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't bring in somebody that was proven, that was somebody that you could count on, I think. So I think there's still question marks there. But at this point, the only thing I can point out to is that McDaniel's done it with subpar, guards before, and he feels like he can do it with what he has on the team at this point in the tackles.
Yeah. Having those tackles definitely makes up for the shortcomings of the guards. When you're looking at the offensive line as a whole, again, especially with the upgrade they had there at center, back to the Broncos with their shortcoming there at interior or linebacker depth. If those two guys could stay healthy all season, and Stranad and Singleton, then I feel pretty dang good about it. Yeah, one of those guys go down for a month or two, it's going to be a little sketchy about those guys behind them, and a lot of hopes and prayers that they could pick it up and play well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, it sounds like you guys don't really have depth behind those positions.
That's really the only position on the team where you look at and you say, yeah, if an injury there could really, outside of quarterback, which we don't need to get into, could really derail the season. Knock on wood.
Before I start getting blamed for that shit.
Yeah, don't. All right, let's switch over to something a little bit more positive when we're talking about, man, I hope these guys don't get injured. Let's talk about a position group that's kind of under the radar for each team, and then talk about, if that position group does hit, plays to their potential that we think they have, could really upgrade the team, and talk about how that could compare to other teams in the AFC West. You guys want to get into that?
Yeah.
Okay. Before we do, anyone that is watching and leaving comments, really appreciate that. Thanks for checking us out.
Slamma jamma.
Hit the like button. We really appreciate that. Helps push us out so more people to see us. We're obviously a small channel at this point. Like to change that. So subscribe as well. If you like what you're watching, we try to do this every week. And then during the season, we do 2 episodes a week with recaps and predictions. So But let's get into it.
Oh yeah, and we like the shit talk. Keep it coming.
Yeah,
We're here for it.
Just talk about how Omar doesn't know ball, and,
Apparently.
how the Raiders
How
suck.
the Raiders suck.
Yeah.
I like the group chat, or I'm
Today.
sorry, the chat today.
Because it's not used finally.
a year in, and it's finally not about Alex.
Yeah, this is
Negative
probably
about
the
Alex.
first episode where I'm not the one getting roasted. Jimmy Jam and Slamming chimed in again, said you guys are chill, just stumbled across this. Really appreciate that,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Thank you.
man.
Thanks, appreciate it, bro.
We're on Instagram as well, Third and Thirsty Podcast, and we plan on keeping on doing this. So,
Yeah.
I'll
I'll
let's talk about
the
Go ahead.
X Factor position.
Yeah.
For
underrated
me,
position group that you think, if they could click and play as well as you think that they could really upgrade the team. Who wants to get started?
I think I'll get started for the Chargers. I think it's going to be the cornerback room, DBs. That is an underrated position. I feel like even the GM, the team, throughout this process of the draft, I felt like they were going to try to come out of the draft with another corner, because you always need corners. Guys go down, or you get younger guys with a little more speed. You can coach them up, but I feel like they were comfortable with what they had. They didn't come out of the draft with a corner. They have Dante Jackson from last year, who they brought in, and he did really well. He was like one of the top corners in what is it? Passes against possession, like the percentage of passes against him.
Mhm.
He really locked down receivers. Usually they're number ones, other teams number ones, and his penalties came way down from the year before. That was my first thought about him, that he was good, but just he was a little too handsy, a little too many penalties when he was with Pittsburgh. But he came in last year, fixed that, and he was honestly, without him on the team last year, there would have been a lot of games where we probably would have lost, because he really did come up big in big spots. They also have two guys, 5th round draft picks from 2 years ago, and Cam Hart and Tarheeb Steele. Steele I feel like he's the better of the two, just all around, can play slot, can play on the outside, but I feel like they're giving him more and more leeway.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's going to be their team their position that's going to spring them forward and get them to the next level, to be able to lock other receivers down, because we got a lot of good, not just tight ends like we already said, but we got some receivers in this division they're pretty good. Not saying the best, but we're still going to have to keep our eyes on some of these speedy receivers, and especially now with Jalen Waddle in the division. We're going to need to lock him down. I think that's the biggest name out there. That's
for sure.
in
Jalen Waddle is definitely the
in
best
the
wide
division.
receiver in the division at this point now. I don't think there's any question about that.
And they'll have to see him twice. So
I'm gonna have to see him twice. The Chargers had a pretty good defense last year. They weren't the best in the league, like Omar claimed the week leading up to the Texans game,
They were
saying that
really
they were
good,
better
but
than the
yeah,
Texans.
at that point.
No.
Yeah, you're tripping, man. And they proved at that game too. But I mean, at the end of the day, they did have a pretty solid defense. So if they get really good corner play next year and they're able to kind of keep some of the wide receivers that they're going to be facing multiple times, then obviously that can make a pretty big difference going forward. Edgar, why don't you talk a little bit? Can you find one for the Raiders that you think? Now that we're getting positive, is there anything you could talk about? Jose 6741N chimed in, said go Chargers. So you got a little bit of support there, Omar.
Nice.
There's one from the 11 fans.
And then Jimmy Jam and Slam chimed in again with a Bronco comment I'll talk about when you're done here, Edgar.
For me, the under radar is obviously, my choice was obviously the big one, the big elephant in the room, and it was the quarterback room. I feel like the Raiders really set up not just Mendoza, but even Kirk Cousins with the solid O-line. Sure, we didn't get the receivers we wanted, but it's shown that Kirk Cousins loves his tight ends. So obviously with Bowers there, that definitely helps out.
Hey, I just thought about it. Keenan Allen's still out there. To see him in a Raiders uniform,
Actually, I saw Juwan Jennings for that.
Yeah, he's still out there too.
So I mean,
There's options.
I'm sure the
Debo.
Raiders.
Yeah,
I'm sure the Raiders have a
players out
chance
there.
to sign somebody on a veteran deal. But yeah. So I mean, yeah, I think honestly, I think the under the radar is going to be honestly Kirk Cousins specifically because I mean he's coming in like trying to like win and stuff like that, but he's just trying like he's honestly just taking Mendoza under his wing.
Jimmy Jam has said, "You like that?"
Yes, I do. But not just that, like just the way, like I said earlier, like the Raiders are setting these guys up to, you know, not just to succeed, but make it comfortable for them. You know, we got Cole Miller, we got JPJ, we got I just had a brain fart, I forgot his name. The center, what the hell?
Just paid him.
Linderbaum. Yeah. I had Tyler, but I forgot his last name. We don't know about the right guard. I don't know if JP just playing right or left, but I mean, we got Glaze on the
DJ Glaze.
Sorry, I didn't say DJ, but we got Glaze on the right.
Doesn't matter.
So.
It doesn't matter.
So that O-line is definitely solid. I'm excited for the fullback we got. I'm excited for Genty and his backup, the running back that we drafted from Arkansas. So I just feel like they're getting set up to just be a point guard, just, you know, lead that team. They don't have to be like a Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson where they have to run and do all this extra stuff. I feel like Clint Kuga is just going to be, you know, if they're playing this play, do this. If they're doing that, do that. Like, it's just going to be an easy, you know, an easy offense for, you know, Mendoza in the end of the day. So
yeah, it'll be a learning curve. I mean, he's still a rookie, and we'll see this year what Mendoza is going to look like in the NFL. You never know. Yeah. You know, the Raiders find out or know that pretty well from drafting a quarterback number 1 overall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that buzz factor is quite there as much as Jamarcus Russell. Jamarcus Russell, if you are watching, please don't fight me.
Bring it on.
Yeah, fight.
Yeah, you'll definitely win that fight. So please don't fight me.
I have to be running a lot because I'm
just running in circles.
Yeah,
tire him out.
Yeah, tire him out.
Hell no, Jamarcus Russell is way
massive.
faster than all three of us. I guarantee it.
Yeah, even if he's whatever out of shape, I'm pretty sure he's way better.
Hell
shape
yeah,
than I am.
he is. Yeah. So obviously, yeah, quarterback, pretty big.
Well, I'm not expecting him to like have. I mean, hopefully he does, but like I said, I just feel like the Raiders really set them up to have a good season. So I feel like even if he doesn't play this year, Kirk Cousins is definitely gonna have a good season.
Well, I mean, he's getting paid a lot of money for whatever he's going to be doing.
$13 million?
Give me that paycheck. I like that. Jimmy's got all the zingers in there. Jamarcus Russell wants to see this. He didn't even watch the film the coaches gave him. Yeah, that's true.
I'm ready to have a beer with this dude.
Yeah.
Funny as hell.
Yeah, the Broncos underrated. Anyone that's ever watched the pod before, these guys know I'm the self-proclaimed Evan Ingram is going to be worth the signing leader. So gonna go Evan Ingram.
You're standing
again,
up there by yourself, man.
Dude, I
at
know.
This point.
I'm pretty much the only
You're on an
Bronco fan
island
that still believes in Evan Ingram. But I do think that with Davis Webb taking over play calling, a year under his belt, I think he was pretty frustrated with his use in the offense last year. I think if they could get him involved a little bit more, then that would be a big change for the offense, because the the tight end room for the Broncos last year was pretty bad. Excuse me. Our boy Jimmy earlier said running back with Jonah Coleman. And yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty good point too.
I was going to ask them, did you just get a running back? Because I mean, that was
Jonah Coleman.
I wasn't going to bring that as a weakness for you.
Jonah Coleman, the Broncos drafted. Yeah, and he looks pretty good. I like what I've seen from him so far. That is a pretty crowded running back room with Dobbins and Harvey. I think are going to get the first two cracks at obviously Dobbins. But I think Harvey's still going to be heavy in the mix this year. I don't think the Broncos have given up on Harvey at all. He had a pretty solid rookie season when it came to being useful on the offense, even if it isn't, as a traditional runner. He has some work to make up there. But what I do like about Jonah Coleman is his not only ability, but his willingness to be to be a blocker in the backfield. So seeing him take over for Bidet as a third down back, looking forward to seeing that. But I think this year, again, fingers crossed, and that nothing happens to Dobbins.
Yeah, there's
I
a
don't
long
know.
list of people that have hoped that and wished
Yeah.
that, and
Yeah, if
wish nothing
Dobbins,
but the best for him. But it is what it is at this point.
right? If Dobbins could stay healthy and Harvey continues to grow, I don't know if Coleman's going to get a whole lot of play this year, but I don't think that's a terrible thing. I guess I think Dobbins probably won't be a Bronco forever, just given contract situations. If he does have a great year this year, he could probably go somewhere else, sign for big money. But Jonah Coleman and RJ just might be that future duo that we could really be excited about.
Yeah, for the Broncos, I feel
Jimmy
like
said, "I hope JK doesn't cross his finger; he might break him." Yeah, he might.
we don't like to say those types of things here. We don't like to wish harm on anybody, on any of these teams.
Oh, it wasn't a wish.
No,
He's a Bronco fan. He definitely does. We know what happens when Dobbins goes out.
Yeah, we don't like to put that on the universe of people getting hurt like that.
Except for Edgar.
Don't
Yeah,
put that
except
out
for
there.
Edgar.
Except for Edgar saying that he hopes Trey Greenlaw gets hurt last year.
Even
One thing Jimmy asked earlier is, let me go back to it, make sure here. All three of you, what's the thing that you're worried most about going in next season? You guys have anything other than the position group that we talked about? Could be coaching, could be anything, really. There's got to be a long list for Edgar.
Oh, there is. For me, honestly, the first thing I can think of is the online not working.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I can think of.
Honestly, I keep going back and forth on Bo's ankle just based on the news that comes out. The last bit of news was him posting a video of him running before this cleanup. So feel a little bit better about that. Yeah, it had to have been.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it was after the injury before the cleanup. So he was running. That makes me feel a lot better. But before he posted that video, I was definitely worried about his ankle and whether or not he'll be good to go and be full strength this season. But I start to feel like he's going to be good to roll.
I mean, same thing injury-wise. The two tackles, both coming off of season-ending injuries and surgeries, working their way back. Yeah, there's same thing, videos of them already running and doing on the field stuff. But once it comes for full contact is when you're going to see it. Once you're going up against
you just hope
somebody
your whole
on the
team
other
doesn't
side.
get injured again.
Yeah, it's right now they're just doing just position drills, but once again, like I said, like one-on-ones and things like that, that's when you're going to see what type of shape they're in, how they're recovering from those injuries, and I think that's just the biggest question mark is, are they going to come back the same? Are they going to still be top end talent that they can lean on? Because if they are, then
especially like Slater.
Yeah. Because if they are, then that is their probably biggest strength is going to be their tackles, and they're going to lean on those two guys with the way that McDaniel likes to run the ball, getting out wide. So getting those two guys out, facing, like I already said, linebackers and safeties and things like that, getting them against those guys, and then have them lead the way for your running back, which running back I feel like is a strength for us this year. So as long as the health is there, then I feel like that's gonna go positive for the Chargers.
Yeah. ZMB6 chimed in again. Now he's coming after the Broncos, so I'm gathering that maybe he's a Raiders fan. And he said that Bo is a flash in the pan, and I couldn't disagree more. But that's just me being a Bronco fan, obviously.
Sounds like a smart guy.
Look, I mean, 2 seasons where he's continuously gotten better, won a playoff game. I don't know if you could call him a flash in the pan, maybe. But I have a lot of faith that Bo is going to continue to get better.
Yeah, I mean, I think this division definitely has like 3 out of the 4 good quarterbacks. Hopefully Mendoza ends up being the 4th one, but this division definitely has some solid quarterbacks that you can't really sleep on any of them. So we'll see how the season goes. I mean, that's the reason why the Raiders are like, it's definitely going to be taking a long time for them to get either close to being either top 2 at most. Just because, I mean, yeah, very solid team.
Yeah, the competition in the division is tough.
And then Chargers defense got better last year, so we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, you guys have anything else to add for this week? We're about 45 minutes in.
just wish there was more news for the Raiders, but no, I don't think so.
Pretty slow time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's pretty maxed out on their like cap money, so there's not going to be too many signings.
The Broncos have like 19 million to play with or something, so they could have something up their sleeve. I don't know.
Yeah,
Would be
usually
nice if whatever that is happens next Monday. We could talk about it fresh, and it doesn't happen tomorrow morning, and we have to wait all week to talk about it.
Or at least
Yeah.
till
Stale.
Friday night or something. So we
Yeah.
can wait the
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, the Chargers still got like 40 mil to play with that they're just sitting on. So,
Yeah, I don't know if
um,
there's a player out there that's going to.
no, I mean, well, not just one, but building depth,
Yeah, totally.
things like that, So that's always a big thing, building depth. We just talked about positions that were, like you said, with the Broncos, the linebackers, one goes down and the
Right,
depth isn't there. So even depth is just a big thing for NFL teams.
especially the Chargers.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say earlier, is that you're saying like, oh, on paper we look good. Like, man, if the Chargers would have won as many games or they would have played as good as they would have been on paper at the beginning of the season.
The Chargers are always back to back Super Bowl champions on paper, and it just never works out.
Yeah. However many times they've won the offseason, the free agency, things like that. Yeah, I'm glad that at least they're going in a different direction now. They're not wanting to have that splash signing, or like they're just being smart with their money, not overpaying guys, not having one need lead to a mistake for 2-3 years down the line. So I'm glad that that's kind of put behind us, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. Anything else, guys?
No.
Okay, I think that's it for this week. Again, anyone that checked us out, really appreciate it, especially if you stuck through the whole episode. That's awesome. One last one here. How long until Harbaugh just up and quits? Jimmy Salmon.
Oh, he won't quit. Everybody will quit around him, but he won't quit.
I don't know. Harbaugh does weird stuff. So if he quit after next year, I guess I wouldn't be shocked.
Nah. Like, you can't go back to college. He's got like a sanction on him at college. Where's
No,
he
he's
gonna go?
definitely not going back to college.
Exactly.
For sure. Okay,
He's
but
there.
yeah, again, appreciate anyone that checked us out. We will come back next week, barring any changes on whether or not my wife gives birth to our second child.
We are on baby watch.
Yeah, we're on baby watch. So if that happens, then won't be back next week. But hopefully we are, and we still have a little bit more time to get the nursery ready for the baby. But until then, 285 days until Bo Nix wins his
Nope,
first Super
Not
Bowl.
gonna happen.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We can always record from the nursery.
That's true.
I know we're not logged